Happy Holy Hump Day on this November 4th, everyone. I'm Pastor Robert. Welcome to this midweek time where I can share some spiritual thoughts and reflections with you. It's also the day after the presidential election, and I've recorded this ahead of that, so I'm not sure what the early results are, but just prayers for our country. And I'm here in our church sanctuary, and I wanted to share some church news with you. There will be a mailing sent out or being sent out this week that will let everyone know about an in-person worship option we're going to start offering on November 29th, the last Sunday of this month. And we're going to have this 10:30 service in the sanctuary. For those that would choose to come, we're still going to offer an online worship service each week. So that's still going to happen. But this in-person option will be available, and it will include all of the guidelines you would expect, like social distancing. You can see we still have our pews marked off by the white tape for 6 feet apart, and wearing a mask will be essential. And we're not going to have congregational singing or congregational responses. We will have music and hymns, but we're going to need to sing from our hearts. We hope to have a song leader or two that would be masked behind plexiglass up front that could lead in the singing to help us sing from our hearts silently. So we're looking at that for November 29th. And we do want to encourage people that might come to that service to come through the front entrance. Those will be the only doors open. And when you come in, we don't want people fellowshipping or getting together for conversation. Simply come in and we're going to worship together. Probably about a 45-minute service, which is what our online services have been. And then following that service, following the benediction, I'm going to encourage people to leave immediately. Again, just to protect everybody, the important thing is that we will be able to see each other, those who would choose to come back. And I think that's the main thing as we worship together. So if you want to stay online, that is going to be available, of course. It'll be a live feed starting on November 29th. And then after that 10:30 service, it can be viewed as well, since it will have been recorded. So we will continue all of that and totally understand those that might not want to come back. I do want to share how we came to this decision because it wasn't an easy decision. But we have a reopening of the church building task force, and it consists of Dr. Dick Gaskell, who happens to be the Athens County Health Commissioner, and Dan Smith, who's on our leadership board, Brandon Saunders, Rick Sider, Jan Miller-Fox, Kathy Mangan, Jeff Dobbenmeyer, Tom Murray, and myself. And when we talked to Dr. Gaskell about having an in-person option, he mentioned that among all of the cases here in Athens, they really are concentrated with the student population, or at least that age group, and he doesn't see a strong enough connection with the community at this point that would prevent us from offering this in-person service as an option. But we will continue to monitor this situation. The other reason we thought of the end of November to start this is the students will not be on campus, or most of the students, I guess, because they will go back to distance learning, online learning, and they won't be back till mid-late January back on campus. So that's one of the reasons we thought this would be a long window opportunity for us to have an in-person worship option. So we'll see how it goes. It does signify the beginning of the Advent season, November 29th. So that also kind of falls in line with this. So that should be interesting and be a good thing that we can see each other, those who choose to come back. And I do also want to mention, we have decided for Christmas Eve that we will not have an in-person worship option. We will pre-record a Christmas Eve service that we can all view. We just feel like that would be too difficult to have because there potentially would be families visiting from out of town. and then people coming here, and we're not sure what the size attendance would be. And, even in a large sanctuary like this, we're going to definitely err on the side of precaution. So we will not have an in-person Christmas Eve service, but we will have a high-quality, pre-recorded Christmas Eve service that I think you'll really enjoy. So those are some of our plans. And let's see what else. Speaking of Advent, when we do offer that in-person worship option for the beginning of Advent, the end of this month, the theme for Advent this year is Wait for It. And so I'm looking forward to sharing that theme throughout the 4 weeks of Advent. Sometimes we need to be more patient than at other times, and I think as we await for the joy of Christmas to come, we're also in a time of waiting because of COVID-19. And so the importance of being patient, but also continuing to feed our faith during this time. Wait for it. God is leading us and directing us, and in God's own time, we will keep moving forward in faith. And so I'm looking forward to that Advent worship series on Wait for It. Also want to talk a little bit about this past Sunday's All Saints Sunday. All Saints Sunday is just one of those significant Sundays in the year. So this past Sunday, we read 7 of our church members' names who've passed away since last year's All Saints Sunday. And it's just a powerful reminder as we remember all of the saints who've gone before us, and those saints who still are with us today that encourage us and guide us in our faith. And I wanted to share a thin place moment with you that I had during the recording of that All Saints Sunday service. I shared it during the online service right before I offered the benediction, but in case you didn't get a chance to hear that, it's still such a powerful thing that I want to share that with you. So when I was leading Holy Communion behind the altar for the online All Saints Sunday, this past Sunday, I take the bread, it's on a plate, and I lift it at one point in that liturgy for Holy Communion. I do the same with the cup. And as I was lifting the bread and my hands were facing down, the back of my hands were facing down toward the several candles representing the saints that we had named earlier in the service, I could feel the warmth coming from those lighted candles. And it just reminded me in a very tangible way, a way I could sense physically, that we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses as the book of Hebrews tells us. The warmth of those candles reminded me of the warmth of the connection we have with the saints who have gone before us and those who are with us now. So just wanted to share that with you, how we have these God moments, and I want to share these God moments whenever possible, and I hope you share your God moments with others as well, because that's what keeps us aware and alert for how God is present in our day-to-day living. And so with that, wish you to have a great rest of your week. May God's blessings be with you. I look forward to having you join us for our online worship service this Sunday. And stay in touch, stay connected in any way you can in our church. And just know that you are always in my prayers and thoughts.